Let's go.
Hey everyone, I am MSK, aka Master Swag King, coming at you guys today with another video. And if you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it and comment down below. Also, make sure you guys hit that notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video or go live. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about the 2024 reboot film, The Crow, which bombed at the worldwide box office. The Crow film series started in 1994, and it was a film that was directed by Alex Proyas and written by David J. Shaw and John Shirley, and it is based on the 1989 comic book series by James O. Barr. The Crow film that was released in 1994 also starred Brandon Lee, and he tragically passed away during filming for The Crow. The Crow is a film series that actually had standalone sequels after the original 1994 cult classic. And there has been a rumored Crow reboot film for quite some time, and it finally came out in 2024. Now, I'll just admit this to you guys right now. I've never seen the original 1994 film The Crow, but I do plan to watch it at some point. A lot of people have said great things about it. But for the purpose of this video, I won't have needed to watch the original to talk to you guys about the 2024 reboot film The Crow bombing at the box office. So if you talk to anybody that has ever even watched the Crow film, which came out back in 1994, nobody at all, at least that I know, that I've talked to that really enjoyed this film, wanted any reboot for it at all. So the reboot movie came out this year in 2024, like I mentioned earlier, and when the first trailer dropped, I was initially going like, damn, this looks like complete shit. Now keep in mind, the same studio that brought you the Borderlands movie that came out about roughly 2 to 3 weeks ago, and that film also bombed at the box office, and they just threw it on digital within about 3 weeks, is Lionsgate. Lionsgate also produced this movie as well. Lionsgate has just taken back-to-back L's, Borderlands and the 2024 Crow reboot movie. So the 2024 Crow reboot film actually had a budget of around $50 million. Now, this is also before marketing, and as you guys know, with big blockbuster tentpoles, these movies have also expensive marketing and advertising budgets as well. You can see right here, the film has now taken in $18.7 million worldwide, a complete and total failure for Lionsgate for Borderlands and The Crow. Now, I want you guys to also see this as well, because this is the momentum for blockbuster movies, is the Thursday night previews. If you ever want to see a new movie come out, always go to your movie theater and check them out for the Thursday night previews if you can't go on the weekends. But this was the Thursday night preview total for The Crow when it opened that opening weekend. The Crow only managed to make $650K in Thursday previews. Rupert Sanders' reboot is looking at an opening anywhere between 6 and 8 million. The production budget is reported to be $50 million. The all-around negative reviews the film received yesterday will not help it gain momentum over the weekend. And yes, even before the Thursday night preview numbers were known to us about how much it actually made on that day, the reviews were absolutely destroying this movie. Keep in mind, I want to make sure I reiterate this. Anyone that I know that watched the original film didn't want a reboot at all. I don't even think people even really watch the standalone sequels. People only really just talk about the first movie, right? Lionsgate, if you even say that's the same company that just recently released that Borderlands movie, you'd be even more skeptical. And then that number right there. So it goes to show you nobody really wanted a reboot to the original. No one wanted that at all. $650,000 for your Thursday night previews? Keep in mind, Borderlands also had a higher number than that. Borderlands took in, what, $1.35 million? Still a complete flop, right? But at least that was at least in the millions. $650,000 for your Thursday night previews. That means this movie is guaranteed flopping opening weekend. And this movie, I don't know how many theaters it got a chance to open in. Usually big blockbusters get anywhere between like 2,000 to 4,000 theaters as the highest number. But even with that number right there, just look at that number right there for anyone who doesn't understand how movie production budgets work. If you do not make the brunt of your budget back in your opening weekend, you are going to struggle at the box office, because not only are there newer films coming out, which are going to be competition for you, and if the movie is not actually good on word of mouth, where tell a friend, another friend tells a friend, then not only is word of mouth going to tank the box office, but the opening number is so low, you couldn't have possibly made up that production budget, right? And the estimates are also really low too. Keep in mind there, a $50 million production budget, not including marketing, they were tracking $6 to $8 million. It was guaranteed going to flop anyway. I would imagine the pre-sale tickets for this movie were extremely low, right? So then, right here, I don't have this uploaded as a tab for the video, but I want to see the Crow's advertising budget. Usually, most of the time, movies never release those. At least when you try to look them up, it's pretty hit or miss most of the time. The Crow 2024 movie marketing budget. That's all I need to know. If the marketing budget for this is anywhere between $50 million, okay, The Crow was theatrically released in France on August 21st, 2024. And in the United States on August 23rd, 2024, by Lionsgate Films. It was originally scheduled for June 7th, 2024. Lionsgate acquired the film distribution rights for $10 million and spent $15 million on print and advertising. So they bought the rights to use this movie for $10 million. Then, if you combine the film's budget and the marketing budget right there, they spent around, okay, so 50 plus 15 is 65, plus 10 more is 75. They spent a good total of $75 million on this movie. Yeah, $75 million. That means for this movie to be profitable, you would need for the movie to hit about $400 million plus at the box office to make sure everybody's paid, right? That's crazy. Now, this isn't like a really huge number if you're talking like the other bigger advertising budgets that we've seen for big blockbuster tentpoles like this one. 15 million is relatively low, but the fact that they could barely even scrape $650,000 Thursday night means this was going to flop even with a low advertising budget and a low film budget, actually. And calling $50 million for a production budget low is insane in and of itself. So then, the guy that directed the original, Alex Proyas, he basically just lambasted the new 2024 reboot from The Crow with just this one quote. The Crow original director roasts reboot after it flopped at the box office. He says, and I quote, "I thought it was a cynical cash grab, not much cash to grab, it seems." And he was right. Lionsgate's The Crow reboot is a box office bomb after opening to $4.6 million on a reported production budget of $50 million. One person who isn't exactly upset about the matter is filmmaker Alex Proyas, who directed the original The Crow adaptation in 1994. Proyas has long spoken out against the reboot, and his star Brandon Lee was killed on the set of the original movie. He's been rejoicing on his Facebook page about the reboot flopping at the box office. The director has also been sharing negative reviews of the reboot. One review called The Crow Reboot the worst movie of the year, to which Proyas wrote, and I quote, "The review, well, we've all been waiting for. It's a bit like flogging a dead horse now, so I think I'll stop after this until another funny one comes along." Man, he is just absolutely roasting this movie. And Lionsgate deserves to be roasted. Like, they've been putting out recently some really bad movies, and they're going to do the Naruto live action movie. Oh my god, that is going to flop. If people thought I was just on it with Borderlands, oh, you will see me be on it with that Naruto live action film, which I will be doing videos on very, very soon, from the very beginning all the way to where the production is at now. Proyas has been critical of the Crow reboot since its trailer dropped in March, arguing the Crow's legacy should remain solely with Brandon Lee and not get tainted with an update. The reboot stars it and John Wick Chapter 4 star Bill Skarsgård in the lead role. He says, and I quote, "I really don't get any joy from seeing negativity about any filmmaker's work," Proyas wrote on social media in March. While pointing out the negative likes on the reboot's trailer, he says, "And I'm certain the cast and crew really had all good intentions, as we all do on any film. So it pains me to say any more on this topic, but I think the fans' response speaks volumes. The Crow is not just a movie. Brandon Lee died making it, and it was finished as a testament to his lost brilliance and tragic loss. It is his legacy. That's how it should remain." The reboot's co-screenwriter, William Schneider, defended the new film in an interview with The Hollywood Reporter, saying the team behind the reboot intentionally did not go the same route. Okay, that's understandable to a certain extent because there's just no way you could live up to that anyway. You have to just do something different. As Proyas did in his story, because we felt like that did a disservice to the film. Instead, we wanted to chart our own course almost as a way to sort of celebrate it and say, hey, we found a new way into the story and we want them both to exist with their own voices, with their own set of fans. Yeah, that's the thing, is like this movie, nobody asked for this. The numbers showed that, and I don't even know why Lionsgate even thought anybody wanted this. So, like, I don't necessarily disagree with what he's saying, if I'm being completely honest here, but you're already fighting such an uphill battle when it comes to a cult classic like that is revered amongst a lot of people as one of the best movies ever made, right? Especially for like the superhero genre too, right? And that's the thing, is nothing this reboot does is going to matter because it's always going to get compared to the original just in general, right? I would have just said, just make a different movie. And if you're going to do this, at least try to pay some homage to the original in a certain way. I'd imagine they had some like rest in peace to Brandon Lee or whatever, but just I just don't think this movie really needed to be made at all. It does seem like a cynical cash grab, my own personal opinion, right? I hope everyone walks away from this film just reinvested in the people they love and care about. Because yes, it's about grief, it's about loss, but it's also about sacrifice and what you're willing to do for the person you love. Well, I don't necessarily disagree with any of that, really, but this was already going to be a box office flop after. Do you guys see the trailer to this? This was like crap. And then, all that, then we have the long-awaited VOD release date revealed. This movie's going to digital and VOD within about 3 weeks of it bombing at the box office, just like Borderlands, right? The Crow 2024 VOD release date revealed. 2024's The Crow now has a VOD release date after releasing in theaters in August. Directed by Rupert Sanders, the 2024 action thriller serves as a new take on James O'Barr's graphic novel of the same name after the 1994 action cult classic starring the late Brandon Lee. Sanders, The Crow's star Bill Skarsgård as Eric, a man who returns from the dead to seek vengeance after he and his lover, played by FKA Twigs, are brutally murdered. Unfortunately, the movie wasn't met with a warm reception theatrically. Lionsgate now reveals The Crow will arrive on VOD on September 13th, 2024, less than a month after the film first hit theaters on August 23rd. The movie will be available on all major VOD platforms, including Amazon Prime Video, Apple TV, Fandango at Home, and Google Play, among others. The Crow's VOD release will include behind-the-scenes special features, and the film will be offered at the standard price point of $24.99 to buy and $19.99 for a 48-hour rental. Yeah, I actually want to see, will this movie do better on VOD, actually? Because there is that possibility. Some movies that completely bomb at the box office just do better on home video. But that's way easier to do because more people are going to be at home now currently watching films than going to the theaters as we've seen for the numbers. But it just depends. The reason why people go to movies now is different than they went to movies before, right? They went to the movies before because obviously that was the thing to do, and it was the thing to do for a very, very long time. I'm not saying that it's not, but the way it's different now, as I'll explain, is because people are going to the theaters now to check out things they actually want to see. Like, gone are the days of like just random films coming out and just doing well because that's just the landscape we were in. You know, now you really do have to earn someone's dollar. And does an average person that watched that cult classic, The Crow, did you really want a reboot? Is that something you really wanted? It just really feels like a lot of the people that are in charge of these movie companies just don't know what the people want anymore. And the numbers show that. $650K for Thursday night preview? Bro, that's not even $1 million. That's freaking insane. Typically, a VOD release arriving so soon after a theatrical bow means the film wasn't performing well at the box office. This certainly appears to be the case for The Crow. Made on an estimated budget of $50 million, the film opened to only $4.6 million domestically, that's just so bad, and has since managed to gross $18.7 million worldwide. Complete flop. They couldn't even scrape their production budget back, let alone the marketing. With a $50 million budget, the film was potentially looking at a break-even point of $125 million, a goal it clearly fell far short of. The film faced widespread criticism in the months leading up to its release, with some viewers believing that the franchise should have been left alone after Lee's tragic onset death during the making of the 1994 adaptation. The Crow's negative reviews did little to combat this pre-release criticism, with critics taking issue with the film's poor pacing and lack of thrills. Sanders' movie, as a result, now has only a 22% score on Rotten Tomatoes, a far cry from the 87% of the 1994 film. Sometimes, a film that struggles in theaters can enjoy a strong second life on VOD platform, and it's possible that this will be the case with The Crow. I seriously doubt it, honestly, but you never know. You never know. Anything is possible. The film, for example, has a stronger audience score, now called the popcorn meter, on Rotten Tomatoes of 64%. Yeah, Rotten Tomatoes basically split into a third category now. So you have the critics, audience, and then you have like this third category now. Though still lukewarm, this score does not suggest that the reimagining played better with the general moviegoers who saw it than with critics. So that's another other thing too, which is, if you guys don't understand, movies like this come out, and if they do not perform well within about 3 weeks, and if there's no traction, they just get thrown on VOD and digital. That means the chances to perform as a big blockbuster tentpole have to happen instantly. And if it doesn't, drive momentum and word of mouth doesn't do that to bring it even further up in box office numbers, studios just throw them on the streaming service, or you just throw it on VOD. While The Crow could end up becoming a modest hit on VOD, it's unlikely to become enough of a hit to offset its poor theatrical performance. As a result, a new adaptation, Eric's story from Obar's The Crow, probably won't be arriving anytime soon. Oh yeah, this wasn't gonna get a sequel. Based off those numbers right there, like, Borderlands flopped so hard, they're just doing another video game. And this flopped so hard, there's gonna be no more Crow movies ever, you know? And that just goes to show you that these studios do not understand what their fans want, what they're going to pay money for. Yeah, there might have been some weirdos on Twitter that were like, oh, that sounds like a really good idea. Yeah, I want a new Crow movie. It's like they didn't even show up, obviously, right? But just look at that number right there. This number right here. Let me just pull this back. Right there. More movies are going to end up making that. They're opening Thursday night unless things change. Literally, just do polls. I don't know. Find a way to try to understand what the general consumer base is asking for and what they're actually going to pay money for. This goes to show you that if you just throw shit out there with horrible trailers, because this movie had a terrible trailer, awful trailer, then it flopped, right? Terrible. This is just garbage. Can't believe this happened. Lionsgate is actually just completely taking L after L. So, did you guys like the original 1994 film, The Crow? Do you consider it a cult classic? Is it a movie that I should check out at some point in my film career, actually, of watching movies? And just want to say, Did you guys actually watch the reboot? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Let me know. And thank you guys for checking out this video. If you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it and comment down below. Also, make sure you guys hit that notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video or go live. I'm MSK, aka Master Swag King, and I'm signing out, guys. See you guys later. Deuces. Peace.